Just because we're a young team, we can't just write that off as, oh, they're figuring it out. The rookies are figuring this thing out and they're going to go through their rookie wall. Blah, blah, blah. Bullshit.
Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers have struggled tremendously this year.
We don't execute at all on offense in certain situations. Simple things. We're behind the sticks. We're penalties. We're dropping balls. We're not putting balls in the right spot. It's not winning football.
Especially in the absence of wide receivers like Davante Adams, trying to find a replacement for this guy. And not only Davante Adams, but also trying to find a replacement for MVS, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, who the Packers also moved on from this past offseason. And now that the struggling is brewing and leading to losses against the Jets and then losing against the Washington Commanders, Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers and Matt LaFleur appear frustrated. And this is brewing where Aaron Rodgers on the Pat McAfee show is openly calling out his teammates and saying that there are guys who are making mistakes 20% of the time and that those guys who are making mistakes should not even be playing.
It's definitely not just one play here or there. Like I said, it's 20% of the time. Guys who are making too many mistakes shouldn't be playing.
And on one hand, you can understand the frustration of Aaron Rodgers when you're losing Davante Adams, losing MBS, and having these rookies trying to replace them. We know Sammy Watkins has battled a hamstring injury this year. And also top draft pick Christian Watson has also battled with injuries this year. But Aaron Rodgers, you really cannot expect all these young guys and new guys to ultimately be as talented as Davante Adams in less than one offseason. And quite frankly, Aaron Rodgers hasn't looked too great this year either. He did not practice this much in the offseason with his new receivers. He did not want to go to OTAs, and it makes people wonder, is his heart really in it this year? Does he know that this year is not going to be a great year and perhaps he's looking forward to next year? But it seems like Rodgers is conveniently trying to distance himself from the mistakes and put this on his receivers and the coaching staff. Rodgers once said the offense needs to simplify things, and head coach Matt LaFleur had an interesting response.
I don't know what that means.
But at the same time, perhaps the GM and the coaching staff may agree with Aaron Rodgers that they've made some mistakes at wide receiver. Maybe Romeo Doubs is not enough. Maybe Allen Lazard and Amari Rodgers is not enough either, because this coaching staff is testing the market right now, seeing if they can get a wide receiver. Jordan Schultz is reporting that the Packers have been actively calling around the league to trade for a wide receiver. We know Randall Cobb is on injured reserve. Christian Watson, Sammy Watkins are dealing with injuries as of late, and it looks like the Packers are going to try to get a wide receiver. And this is kind of interesting because Jordan Schultz was just on the Pat McAfee show and Aaron Rodgers was just on the Pat McAfee show, and Schultz did report that the Broncos are selling some receivers.
A guy that quietly has been discussed from other teams is KJ Hamler. When you're talking about Judy, a former first-round pick, still on his rookie deal, the asking price would be extremely high.
The question is this the right move for Aaron Rodgers to be calling out people in the media on the Pat McAfee show? You got Greg Jennings saying, hey bro, I don't think this is the right thing to do.
This is unacceptable, and not only for the Green Bay Packers, but even for Aaron Rodgers, because he's just not playing well either.
And Greg Jennings is a guy who played with Aaron Rodgers, so you got your own former homies calling you out too, Aaron Rodgers. Maybe you want to relax a little bit and be easy on these young receivers. And the thing is, Aaron Rodgers signed this fat contract in the offseason. He's considering retiring all the time, and he signed this 3-year, $150 million contract that is basically fully guaranteed for this year, next year, and also in 2024. In 2024, he'll have a $24 million dead hit with a $40 million cap hit. If the Packers did move on from Rodgers, then they could save $16 million in cap. But you basically got fully locked in for this year and next year, fully guaranteed, one of the highest paid contracts for a quarterback in the NFL. And Aaron Rodgers did this knowing the Packers were strapped with cash. We know that is a big reason why they moved on from Davante Adams. They didn't have the cap to really make too many moves this past offseason, and Rodgers knew this, and Rodgers still signed this huge fat deal knowing the Packers were going to have to rely on first-round draft picks to be able to fill in at wide receivers, for some cheap veterans to fill in at wide receiver, people like Randall Cobb. And Aaron Rodgers knew this was the case, but instead he decided to get this fat contract rather than take a team-friendly deal, something that allows the Packers to use more money to get more receivers. Maybe Rodgers didn't trust the coaching staff to do that for him, or maybe he just wanted to take the money and run and doesn't really care if the Packers go to a Super Bowl this year or next year, because the Packers have been in this unfortunate situation for the past few years where they win tons of games, go to the playoffs, and ultimately never make it to the big game, the Super Bowl. Anyways, for the Packers, hopefully this tough love philosophy from Aaron Rodgers works out and these receivers are able to step up, or maybe they're going to be able to make this big play and get a receiver like Jerry Jeudy. That definitely helps out the Green Bay Packers if they can land a move like that. Over 90% of my viewers are not subscribed. Subscribe to this channel for more NFL content. My name is Wi-Fi Willie. Peace out, and I hope you have a good one.